that guy is into something.
You're not a detective.
Follow me into the house.
Policia! Oh my God.
Be careful. You just tugged on the tail of the snake. It's gonna turn around and bite you back.
You think I know what we're rolling up on?
Spill is recorded on location with the men and robots of quality enforcement. All movies are innocent until proven guilty of being some old bullshit.
That's awesome, man.
Bad spill.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah. Man, you gotta learn the words.
That was obviously recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Nobody won't give me no.
Hey, man, you having a seizure somewhere? Were you Bobby McFerrin?
You never heard the rest of the song?
Hey, so you know what? I am so disappointed that I didn't see this movie. This is David Ayer, who is responsible for one of my all-time favorite movies, Training Day.
Well, look, Corey, you've seen Training Day. I've seen every episode of The Shield. We should be able to do this.
Oh, yeah, no, we can wing it, man. We can wing it very well.
You do what you guys need to do.
David
Ayer. Don't get in the way.
Yeah, and he's back in the territory. I mean, this guy, I love everything well, maybe not love, but I really enjoy a lot of stuff that he does when he comes back in the crowd and the cops having to deal with especially with the, as they say, the underbelly of L.A.
No.
And this looks like that kind of movie, man.
This is a bad advertisement for the city of L.A. Like, it makes you never want to fucking go to L.A.
I know. I was like, it's one of those things where you see like the stereotypes brought up. Where I mean, they're not stereotypes. I mean, they're gangs that actually act like this, act fucking crazy, act like the fool. But you know, it's been such a long time since I've been like, man, are there still fucking problems like this with gangs? Like,
I thought you said it's been such a long time since I've been involved in gang activity. I can't remember. That's still.
They used to throw co-hosts through the windows on drive-bys.
hey, I spent years and years in the world of gangsterdom. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you see those tears tattooed on his eyeballs.
Yeah, did you see this shit?
Those are cracks.
I straight up murdered everybody.
Those are dents.
The funny thing is, there are no movies that paint the LAPD well and is looking good, even like as far back as LA Confidential. And the reason for that is that if you look at the actual history of the LAPD, they've been a bunch of assholes from the very beginning.
It's a bunch of history you're dying to rewrite. You know?
Okay, well, you know what? It's interesting that you bring that up, Leon, because we have Jake Gyllenhaal and that Mexican dude. What's his name?
I know.
Michael Pena.
I know. And Michael Pena. So, and, you know, I think unlike Training Day, where we're given a really bad image of the cops, except for Ethan Hawke, here we seem to be following the cops. They seem like to be the protagonists. This time, we're rooting for them because they make a discovery that makes them the target of the cartel.
These are clearly the cleanest cops that David Ayer has ever created. I mean, they're kind of they have their moments of
they got
science fiction.
They got,
That's what Bilbo's in the backseat, motherfucker. It is fantasy. No, but it's you know what? And the reason we open the show like that is because it's David Ayer doing a ride along, just like Training Day, just like kind of Harsh Times. Like that's his favorite thing to do is ride alongs. And this they put. They get the camera from the dashboard, so it's like watching the greatest episode of Cops you've ever seen in your fucking life.
It is. And of course you got Michael Pena playing Punch, and you got Julian Hall playing John. It's the greatest episode of Chips ever.
Man, they actually named this Chips, but it was this movie.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, it's just you following these guys on their routine day, the crazy shit they see. I mean, and it shows you like the brotherhood that these cops have with each other.
Why are you shooting everything?
It's first class.
I thought you were studying law.
Free law. I need an art elective. Don't think filmmaking.
We'll get my good side, eh?
You don't have a good side.
Listen, you know they can subpoena that if something goes sideways, right? Think twice.
2 words. Erase button.
2 words. Just because you guys think you're these big ghetto gunfighters now, don't mean you can be dropping your calls.
That was at least 24 words.
Yeah, well, I barely got a GED, so what do you expect? White boy?
Unbelievable.
And just their relationship with the communities that they drive in, where they all have sections of, you know, central LA that they're just used to. So you see their interactions with the people, even to the point where, you know, there's moments when these cops will like take off their equipment, take off their badge to scrap with somebody who calls them out. It's like, oh, you're just talking the talk because you're wearing that badge. That badge is doing all the talking for you. It's like, oh yeah, well, how about if I take it off? Let's
Puts
get
his badge down, you're like, get him, Donnie Darko, get him.
I know.
That's how Leon got his ass beat a few times. Fuck you, cop. You ain't okay.
But that's the cool thing about it. I mean, but saying that, I mean, it is taken like it is shot like one of those first like found footage type deals.
I was about to ask you. Is it like a found footage movie?
It is, but to a fault.
So is the conceit that a documentary crew is following them, or is it all dashboard?
What it is that Jake Gyllenhaal is taking a class at the community college on filmmaking. Like he has a certain amount of credits he has left before he gets his degree. So he's decided he's going to make do a filmmaking class. So he's got like the dashboard cam, obviously, but then they've got little cameras on their lapels. Although what keeps it from feeling very conventionally found footage for me is that they do pull back from that a lot. That's not the only view of things going on that you have.
And I say that's the movie's biggest weakness is that they try to establish to you that we have cameras here. They even say, hey, here's I'm testing out the camera. I'm gonna put it here, and then like when you're in the car, there's like a crotch camera, and you're like, where the fuck did crotch camera come from?
See,
like,
okay, so
end of crotch.
Yeah. Okay, so they're more. In found footage movies, I've seen this very little, but I've seen it a lot in mockumentaries where they try to make it seem like there's, this is an authentic documentary movie, and yet somewhere in the middle of it, a random camera guy pops up somewhere, like they walk into a room and there's been a camera guy waiting for them inside.
My antidote to that, and I'm not joking around. I just look at it like, okay, it's somebody making a movie about somebody making a found footage movie.
You know,
I still don't buy that.
It's still, I still don't get it because I mean, in this movie, halfway through the movie, it's like everyone was like, fuck it, we fucked up. Sorry, people. We're just gonna have an actual cameraman follow these guys. I mean, 'cause there's moments where they just completely drop it.
Like there's a phantom camera guy.
I'm like, there's a phantom guy or
is that that little shit from Chronicle? Get away from me.
But I mean, you could tell where the movie's running into trouble when even the gangs are fucking running around with cameras. It's like, there's a vato who's like, hey, Holmes, I gotta document this shit, for my film class and shit,
Say, man, is that 1080p?
I know.
He wants to be the Ken Burns of vatos.
Yeah, Holmes, let's go stop by fucking Best Buy so I can get some fucking film and shit.
Yeah, see, that's the thing about these movies, man. When they just say, okay, that's when they try too hard, when they say, okay, this is found footage, and they try too hard to throw in that everybody is fucking filming. Oh, everybody got a cell phone, everybody's got a camera out, and nobody would do that in real life, but for the sake of this movie, everybody has to do that so that we can film, so that we can edit all of this footage together. But I didn't see the movie. The movie seems to be getting a lot of good word of mouth.
The thing is, like, what keeps it from being just very conventional and very disregardable is not a word, but I'll use it anyway.
I'll just make up some shit.
I'll buy it. I'd make up all kinds of shit.
Whatever. It's my dictionary, bitch.
He's got a third-grade education.
Yeah. Well, what I like about it is the fact that it gets a lot of mileage out of the relationship between Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena. They have a lot of charisma, and they play off each other really well, to the point that once they get in over their heads, which... It's unlike most David Ayer movies where it's like usually they get in over their heads because they do something they're not fucking supposed to do. And this is like they're doing their jobs and they get in over their heads. So you really do root for them.
Yeah. It's one of those movies where as you're going along, it's like you're watching an episode of Cops. Yeah. But you start to realize that every situation they get involved with or every call they get seems to escalate and get worse and worse, where they're like, okay, there's kids who are, locked up in their parents' closet. Oh man, that's fucked up. And then they start finding fucking decapitated bodies and shit. And it's one of the and you're like, oh man, but it starts to get worse and worse.
I like that. So every call they get just like lends itself to a bad situation.
It does. And once you realize, like, they
like 1 out of 12. It's like, oh, turn it off.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, where you're telling yourself, man, guys, fucking, pull out your guns, be ready, because the last shit you saw was fucked up. I mean, this is getting worse.
In fact, just shoot the first thing you see when you get out the car.
Just shoot the door.
They'll respond to a call for a purse snatching and end up chased by a satanic cult. Like, how the fuck did we get here?
Does that really happen in the movie?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, damn, I wish it did.
It almost does. I mean,
hey, Brian, let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, now, I remember a long time ago, the movie SWAT came out. Did you see it?
love that movie.
And I got to tell you, the best rendition of SWAT I've seen perform, it was live, and it was a blind guy on an organ playing. Before he got
And
shot.
that organ was his penis.
Yeah.
But was yelling at it all, and God damn it, God damn you.
But so the reason why I bring up SWAT is because the trailers of SWAT, and now we all saw SWAT, right?
Oh,
the
yeah.
trailers of SWAT at the time. I'm talking about the movie with LL Cool J and Colin
Farrell.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner. Yeah, that's right. Jeremy Renner's a weak ass bad guy.
Yeah.
So in the trailer said they made it. Okay, you know what they made it seem like? They made it seem like The Raid. Like they said, these guys, they go into the city to capture a bad guy, and then the bad guy makes the call for every criminal in that city block to go up against these guys. They have to escape. When you watch the movie, that's about 2 minutes of film.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, I completely forgot that movie.
I'm surprised
The
you
reason
remember
why I
that
bring
much.
that up, though, is because you're telling me all this stuff about how this is a movie that follows these cops around, and then, but see, the hook on the trailer is that they find something that makes them the hit of a cartel. Now, is that a major part of the movie?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's ultimately what we're building towards is that the thing that's making them in over their heads is that they've pissed off the wrong group, and it's this cartel, and now they're like marked for death, and it has nothing to do with Steven Seagal, but they are marked for death.
If only it did.
Yeah. So those are the circumstances that they're dealing with. So yeah, it is a major part of the movie.
And it's too bad that they actually gave that away in the trailer. I mean, I went into this cold, not knowing
I did
anything,
too.
and just not knowing. That's part of the entire. That's the entire fun of this movie. I mean, because like I said, when they start seeing shit, start seeing bodies, and then out of nowhere you see another team of guys go, "Hey man, just want to tell you, be careful, guys. Just be fucking careful right now.
Yeah.
You're messing with some shit you shouldn't be messing with." And it's that moment in the movie where you're like, "Oh fuck!" You start,
dude, you got greenlit.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. You start to get worried about these guys. I mean, you really get worried because I mean, you've already been kind of driving around the city. You feel like you're a cop. You feel like
See, that's where it sounds like
that's
where it sounds like a horror, like a found footage movie in the horror vein.
Yeah.
Where
Right.
they're like they just keep discovering more evidence that just makes them like as you say, just put more in danger and in over their heads.
It's a mystery that they're trying to unravel. Yet you, as the audience, know what they're getting into, and that's what makes it much.
So does this
more
work for the most
frustrating?
part?
Well, I think it works mainly because of, again, the relationship between Pena and Gyllenhaal, and the fact that they do such a good job of establishing them not only as friends but as two genuinely likable people. So that as you're watching it, as shit is going wrong, you really want them to make it out of their life, as opposed to previous David Ayer movies where it's like, cops are kind of dicks. Like, I don't know if I care.
But, you can't help but know it's going to end
Like
up in a
Street Kings,
disaster.
I like
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves enough, but he's such a douchebag.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really
Yeah.
care if he gets whacked or not.
Yeah, when those guys get their, get their up and coming, or I mean, when they come up, when they get
Uppercummins.
they
get uppercut.
they get their uppercuts. No, when they get their just desserts, I mean, you kind of expect that. With this, you're hanging out with these guys, you're hanging out with their girlfriends, you're hanging out with other members of the police department where it's they're all buddies, and after a while you kind of don't want anything to happen.
Well, everything
to
they've
them.
done is in the line of duty. They don't really do anything crooked that I remember.
No.
And that,
Except sneeze in the middle of your review.
I mean, I have to believe there's at least one cop in L.A. who's not a complete evil douchebag. I'm not saying that.
I think that's the only way you can get on the force.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't applied in a while, so
It's a black guy who you thought was speeding.
I will.
How many times will you hit him about the head?
It's on the exam. I will disagree with you, co-host, about one
Fuck
element.
you.
In that I think these are the most stereotypical Latino characters that David Ayer has ever created.
No, you know what?
They don't feel like characters. They feel like those homie dolls you get out of the corner of the shit.
I was gonna say, man. I mean, yeah, they fucking.
Oh, we need another one. Put a quarter in.
It's like, the director keeps
That's how they cast the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Put
he
your
put-
machine and got some homie dogs.
Pretty much.
putting in quarters, and you're just like, man. I mean, I was like, do gangsters really talk like that still? Where
We don't need no stinking badges.
guy, I mean, it's like, man, fuck Holmes, man. What the fuck?
I have
going on?
no
I'm gonna
aversion to
fuck you up.
cursing, but when it's like
Yeah.
fuck, fuckity fuck, fuck,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm like, I don't know what you're actually saying under all those fucks.
Where it gets, I mean, when you're watching it, it gets to the point of it just being completely ridiculous,
And that almost made
you
me hate
can't-
the movie.
You can't, but
Really?
Yeah,
At the beginning, I was like, this is so ugly with the way it's portraying these
I
characters.
was with you. I was with you on that, but it's. I mean, where you're like, okay, I don't know. I'm not a cop. I don't interact with these people.
True.
But maybe it is like that. I don't know. But after a while, just everything else going on in the movie just completely makes you forget about that shit.
Totally
it really does.
I feel like there was another movie we saw like that. I want to say it's the one about the illegal immigrants. The guy who's working where his truck gets stolen.
A Better Life.
A Better Life.
Better
That's
Life,
the
yeah.
one. Yeah, where it had the characters in there who you could tell weren't actual actors, but were just like hamming it up Mexican style, just too much. It's like, all right, let's tone it down a little bit.
Well, it's one of those things too where you realize that these characters, these fucking stereotypes that they're so stupid, and they're portrayed in such a way to where you see what they end up doing in the movie, where you can't help but they're not very bright. Obviously, they had no real education. They were raised completely on the streets, so they're gonna make the stupidest decisions, and they don't give a fuck. They don't give a human life to them means nothing, and you get that by the way they act in the movie.
And that is one area where this movie does not skimp. It is violent as all hell.
It really is,
and it has a gritty realism to
Look
it.
at you, Corey. Your eyes all lit up.
I'm like, really?
Once again,
Tell me more.
This is not something we should be surprised about with David Ayer, because he does that in all of his movies. But there's literally a scene in this movie where you walk around the corner and there's a cop with a fucking kitchen knife in his eyeball, and he's just like, "Guys, I need an ambulance. I need an ambulance,
Jesus
guys.
Christ.
Somebody call an ambulance." It's like, there's a fucking knife in your eye.
I love it already.
I was like, get the fucking knife out of that guy's eye.
And that's the great thing. That's where the found footage type of deal works for it.
Yeah.
It's like you're running
Because you slowly come around and
you're running into a haunted
he's got
house.
eyelashes. Oh my god, it's a fucking knife.
It's like running into a haunted house and there's a guy, you see the back of his head, and he turns around, you're like, ah!
It's knife in the eye, guy.
Guy, you're like, oh fuck.
You know what, man? It sounds like it's taken, and I keep comparing it to the horror genre version of found footage movies, because those films, they depend on discovery. You have to discover one clue after another, and these guys are actually put into a horrific situation.
Yeah.
It sounds like. I mean, I tell you what, you guys have. Just by me loving this director and what he's done with the police in L.A. and that backdrop of L.A. and the corruptiveness. I'm gonna make up words like and gangs. I love what he does with that, man. Street Kings is a movie I like a lot. I just want to say you sold me on the film, but I want to hear what you thought about it.
I mean, overall, like I said, I had some issues with it early on. I think there is a bit of a disconnect when you start looking at the fact that, it's found footage. Oh, but there's invisible cameramen. But on the other hand, I feel like there's a double-edged sword there, because if it was all found footage, we'd be complaining about, why don't they just take the damn cameras off? They're getting shot at. That doesn't make any sense.
Why are they holding cameras?
They weren't going to win either way. But I think the performances are great. I think the relationship between Gyllenhaal and Pena is the hallmark of the movie, is the central focus, and they do it really well. Honestly, I'd give this movie a matinee. I think it's something that you would definitely want to see in
Can
the
I
theater.
ask you why not a full price?
I think it's just because of those. It takes a while to get going. Early on with all the missteps and all the weird stereotypes, and you're not really sure what to make of it. And I feel like if it could have moved just a little bit faster, it would have been at the beginning. It would have been a full price. But then once it gets going, it really hits its stride and does very well.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have to agree with you. I mean, I was on the verge of giving it a full price, but I mean, I do remember, just like you, I was just wondering, okay, when is this movie actually going to really kick into full gear? I'm like, it's great they're establishing this relationship between these two guys, which is the best, which makes the movie work. Yet at the same time, it's taking you a while before you're just like, all right, let's get on a call already. Let's stop. You guys stop fucking around. Stop dicking around at the office and stop dicking around in the car, looking for something to do, looking for donuts or something. Let's get on with it. But once they do though, that's when the movie really kicks into high gear. But I mean, it is the issue. You can't help but be aware that the fact that they fucked up with the whole camera thing, where they can't decide who's fucking filming what. Because I mean, when there's gunfights, you're waiting to see the guy with the fucking camera just running around going whoa 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 oh shit, where I go?
Like he's in Baghdad or some shit.
I know.
That's a good ass cameraman when he just doesn't even budge. He's just I'm gonna still film. I'm dedicated
I'm
to this
filming shit, but God, dodging bullets too. I mean, and you can't help but be kind of taken out of the movie when scenes like that happen. But I mean, besides the fucking stereotyped vatos that come out from the goddamn quarter machine.
I was surprised the Taco Bell Chihuahua wasn't in there. Honestly,
Quiero policia. Say hello to my little friend.
Yo soy stereotype.
Tacos locos forever.
I
mean,
I don't know. Maybe you guys couldn't give it a full price, but Corey is giving a big wet spot on the couch.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm I'm ready.
But I mean,
Amigo.
But besides the stereotypes that you mentioned, I got over it. I'll give it. I will give it a matinee. I mean, and like I said, I'm so close to giving it a full price, but it just takes a little
Yeah,
time.
I did really like it, but yeah, it's just got a few problems.
You should call, so I come over there and just budge you a little bit. Full price. Full price.
¿Por qué?
You know what? I do think this is, when you say this is like the best episodes of Cops that you've seen, I agree with that because I like to see the cops fuck up for once in a while. You know, they never show that on Cops, but I like this.
They never show the episode of Cops where they come up on two guys in a car and those guys draw down on them and then they get shot. They always edit that part out.
I know.
This movie, they don't edit that shit out.
I hate it when they like walk up on a car and they cut and the cops are just lying on the ground.
or like when you're watching those World's Wildest Police videos, the shootings are always off screen and the guy's like, and he was taken down by the cop.
Yeah, I know, right?
Word is, they got a hit on y'all, man. Y'all been greenlit.
We're cops. Everybody wants to kill us.
Whoa. 13 X-ray 13, suspect running on foot.
Look at me. We're shooting our way out of here, bro. Okay. On 3, dude. You're gonna empty your mag and run. 1,